Hi everybody, it's Graham at Redeemer United Methodist Church in Harper Woods. I want to get you in the spirit for Halloween. So today we're going to do a book for you. It's called The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. And it's by somebody named Riel Nason, illustrated by Brian Egensweiler. So here we go. Let me get to the first page here. Once upon a time, there was a little ghost who was a quilt. Do you see him? He looks a little sad. He didn't know why he was a quilt. His mom and dad and all his friends were sheets. They were light as air. They flew high and fast and twirled and whirled in the sky. They could even ride on a gust of wind and then whoosh back to the ground, like they were going down an invisible slide. The little ghost who was a quilt, he was heavy because of his layers of fabric. It was hard for him to lift off. He was a slow flyer. He got hot and sweaty when he tried to go faster. The only time he attempted to whirl and twirl, it didn't end well. It looks like he might have fallen down the stairs. One day, he and some friends were at a park when they heard someone coming. His friends zoomed away because ghosts are terrified of people, but the little ghost couldn't escape quickly enough. He flopped over a bench. A family came along, and a little boy who was eating an ice cream sat down beside him. The little ghost had never been so close to a human before. He felt fear in every fiber of his fabric. The boy only stayed a few minutes, but he dropped a big glob of melted ice cream right on the little ghost's head. Look at that, it's gonna go right there. Later, when the other ghosts saw him, they all laughed at the stain on his forehead. The little ghost was embarrassed and so sticky. That was so mean of his friends to do that. The little ghost didn't like being different. His mom told him he had an ancestor who was a checkered tablecloth, and his great-grandmother was an elegant lace curtain. Everyone said she was the most beautiful ghost they had ever seen. Even knowing that, the little ghost didn't feel any better. He wished he was just one fabric and not a whole bunch of squares sewn together. The other ghosts called him Scrappy, and he didn't like that. But there was one day that always cheered him up. Halloween. Look at that big pumpkin. People seemed excited about ghosts on Halloween. Sometimes children dressed as them to trick or treat. Every year the ghosts went to watch the festivities. They stayed silent and still in the trees and pretended to be decorations, far away from the humans. See them hiding up in the trees? Too heavy to hover, the little ghost who was a quilt usually draped himself over a clothesline, see? He never had a very good view. His view is blocked by this cat. This year he had a better plan. He remembered how close he had been to the boy at the park, so he decided to be brave and fold himself over a chair on a porch, right next to the center of action. See, he's going to fold himself right so he can be close to all the kids. There he goes, he's sneaking up to the porch. Halloween came and the little ghost flew as fast as he could, but he was only halfway across the lawn when he heard people coming. At the last possible second, he plopped over the porch rail. A mom walked up the driveway with a little girl dressed like a ballerina. See, she's dressed like a ballerina. While the girl trick-or-treated, the mother asked the man something at the door. The next thing the little ghost knew, the mom had picked him up. He was so scared, he thought his seams might come unstitched. The mom wrapped the little ghost around the girl and put them both on the wagon. The girl had been cold, and now the little ghost was keeping her warm. He could hardly believe what was happening. See, there they are in the wagon. They headed down the street past his friends in the trees. "No, don't go," one whispered. "What are you doing?" The little ghost decided to fly away as soon as the girl got out of the wagon to trick or treat again. But Mom didn't turn into the next yard or the one after that. By the time she finally walked up to a house, the little ghost was panicking. How would he get away? See, there she is walking up to the house. The mother parked the wagon and carried the girl and the little ghost in the house. The little ghost didn't know what to do, but he reminded himself to stay calm. Look at all the eyes. The little ghost peeked around the room. There were holiday decorations everywhere. He even saw a branch trimmed with lollipop ghosts. They looked just like his friends in the trees. See, over here, there's us. And there's the little girl with her blanket draped around her. The girl tucked the little ghost, who was a quilt, under her legs as she sorted her candy into piles. He felt surprisingly cozy. Maybe things would turn out okay after all. The girl ate a chocolate bar, and she wiped her sticky fingers on the little ghost. He didn't even mind. After the girl was asleep upstairs, her mother gently folded the little ghost, who was a quilt. She smiled and admired his fabric and traced her fingers along the stitching. It tickled. There she is. She set the little ghost on the couch and went upstairs too. When she was gone, the little ghost flew into the fireplace and out the chimney. His smile was 3 squares wide. See how big his smile is? The little ghost's friends cheered and rushed over to him. They were amazed at his courage and wanted to hear every detail of his adventure. They flew slowly along with him all the way home. The little ghost was so happy that he felt like he was floating without even trying. Everything had happened because he was a little bit different. Everything had happened because he was a quilt. There's him flying with all of his friends. The end. I hope you liked that story, and we'll be coming to you again with some more stories. See you later. Bye.